want you to watch this little exchange that I did, a little skit on fearing the failure, baby, and not wanting to take chances. So watch this and we'll circle back around. I watch how you just like take chances, like you try new things. It's like you don't even care, like if it fails. Like I don't even know how to get there. Like I want to do that too. You're looking at failure all wrong. See, even if it doesn't work out, it works out, right? Because if I'm failing, then I'm learning. And if I'm not going to learn, then I'm never going to succeed. So I try things. And if they don't work, then I go, okay, that's not for me. And yeah, sometimes it sets you way back. But how else are you going to get there? So you have to start reframing that failure to learning, because I embrace it. If not, God, I'll never learn. I never thought of it, of even if it doesn't work out or if I fail, that it still works out. Like, I mean, it just... But, you know, I don't know, like, what if I, like, take all of these risks and it's like, then what? Then what do I do? Then you pivot, baby. Then you pivot. Because if you are afraid of failure and you're worried about doing it right, nobody does it right typically the first time. You're all new here. You're not going to pick up a tennis racket and be Serena Williams. You're going to have to fail. Embrace that, baby. Know that if it doesn't work, it really does work. And at the end of the day, you will be better for it. While I'm still not where to start exactly, at least I feel like I'm okay to start. Wow, thank you. Wow. This is so important for your growth. I do not care who you are, what you are, how many followers, how much money you have. This is still going to be an important lesson for any and everybody. Okay? It is something that took me a long time to get there. And it is going to cultivate from self-love, self-confidence, dealing with your stuff. Yes. So it's not just going to be like you're going to watch this video and all of a sudden you're going to be like, I'm just going to go take some chances. Yeah, of course not. But I want you to get the concept of what I said in that is it will always work out. And that's an always. You know, I don't use always and never. Those are these big words that I'm not necessarily a giant fan of. But they do always work out. It's just how you see it. It may not work according to your plan. And this is falling in love with the uncertainty. This is falling in love with knowing that regardless, you're going to learn something from it. And I think, honestly, I think that was a huge pivotal part in me probably getting through some really dark times. And sometimes it's really hard to see where the lesson is, right? So you go, okay, well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this thing. And then you go, oh my gosh, the marriage didn't work out. Or well, that would be the relationship, but you know, a marriage didn't work out. The job didn't work out. You know, the book didn't work out. The things I wanted to do didn't work out the way you wanted. See, that's the big piece here, is the way you wanted it to. But there's always something in which you learn. So let me give you an example. I've been married twice. My current husband now, he and I have been married almost 16 years this year. My ex-husband, who is my son's biological father, we were married legally like 9 years, but we were really only together, like married 5, together like 6, 7. And we just grew differently, right? It wasn't before another person. It was just, I was growing in one direction. He was growing in one direction. I love his family now. We went to his wedding, like great guy, right? Just sometimes we grow apart. Now in that moment in time, you don't have all that clarity. You're not like, it's fine. We're just not for each other. Right. So you kind of go through, well, why couldn't you do this for me? And, oh my God. And, oh, I'm miserable. Right. So you're going to go through those emotions in which you have to feel them. You have to feel those emotions. But what did I learn? I learned how to be a better communicator, because definitely, for sure, that distance was definitely not all him. It was me too. Own your stuff. So I learned the communication. I was very, very early on in my healing process. So obviously not an excuse, but a reason. So, you know, make sure I'm taking care of my mental health, right? And just in general, just learned how to be a better person through it without blaming him for everything. Yeah, saying, okay, well, the next person, you know, if I get involved with the relationship again, these are some things that I would do different and what I would look for that's different. But you got to be willing to see it. So this means you have to go through the painful part of it to see where the lesson is, but you have to be willing to see it, because it's real easy to stay in a victim mentality, right? I see this a lot with infidelity, within my clients, with infidelity of, oh my God, why'd they cheat on me? And then it becomes about you. And the craziest thing, and it's so hard for you to hear this, but cheating is not about you. It really isn't about you. You take it that way because there's a bunch of reasons, which we're not going to do a therapy session here. But it's really not about you, but it's hard for you to see past that, right? So then you can look and know the lesson should never come from that pain, right? Like it should never come from the pain of, well, I learned a lesson to never trust people again. I learned a lesson. I'm never dating again. I learned a lesson. I'm not going to do. Okay, breathe. You're hurt right now. You're hurt. Okay. You're angry. You're hurt. Totally get it. But you have to allow your emotions to process, which is why those 5 journals, I'm always going to preach about these 5 journals, are immensely important because it gives you a space to process, right? It's great to have coaching and therapy and guidance and medication, but you still need to process it. No one can do that for you. I can't do it for you. The Dalai Lama can't do that for you. God himself can't do that for you. You have to process it here, but you have to allow your ego to come down. Listen, I said it's a process. I didn't say it's going to happen in 5 minutes. You got to allow your ego to come down. You got to allow yourself to go through the feelings, but don't become a victim to your circumstances. And you have to go, okay, all right, let me pretend I'm watching a movie. Okay, let me take my emotions out of it for just a second. I'm not asking not to feel them, just to observe it. What are some things I would have done different? Be careful of the, he did this or she did this and they, she, that, You, what could you have done different? It's not blaming. It's not blaming yourself. What could you do different the next time? What have you learned through the process for yourself, right? Because again, it takes 2 people to have an argument. It takes 2 people to dissolve a relationship. It takes 2 people to make a relationship. So no, it isn't always this person's actions. It isn't 100% them. I don't care. Oh, I just dropped you on your head. Look at that. I'm going to keep you in there. Sorry, I almost gave you a concussion. Hope you're okay. There you go. Kissed you. There, you're good. But it's important that you accept the areas that you've learned. And yes, you process it, but I promise you, oh my God, when you do that, you will take more chances. You will take more risks, and you have to. You have to, because at the end of the day, it will always work out. It just may not work out the way you want it to. Right? But if you see it that way, it takes away this fear of what if I fail? There isn't really failure. Plus, failure's lessons, failure's learning. Without that, you have no success. You literally have no success without failure. None. Right? And so also, if a relationship doesn't work, or a new job doesn't work, or a new career doesn't work, doesn't mean it's a failure. I need you to reframe that, because that's what's preventing you from taking these chances. That's what's preventing you from getting out of your comfort zone, which nothing grows in the comfort zone. That's what's preventing it. Because you're looking at something as a negative failure if it doesn't work, or that you need to know, now this is ego, you need to know that it's going to work out. You need to see it 15 steps down the road to know that it's going to be okay. No, the most beautiful opportunities live in the uncertain. Good and not so good. But if you worry about which one is what and what are you going to do, you're going to, and this is a good, I want you to check yourself, like internally check yourself on this. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like, man, I want to do more? And you go, but what if I don't succeed? What if I'm 60 starting a new career? So what? You can. It's great. What if you're 30 and you're still trying to figure out what you want to do? Or what if you're 50 and you start trying to figure out what you want to do? Okay, that's fine. Try new things. Try new things. Trust to know that even if it doesn't work accordingly, it still works. But where it's never going to work is in the comfort zone. This is where you got to get so comfortable in the discomfort. Because if you live in the comfort zone, it's kind of a fake place anyway. But if you live in the comfort zone, you live in the get up, make the donuts, come home. Are you living? Or are you existing? Now ask yourself this question. I'd love to know in the comments. What are some chances and things that you can do for yourself right now that while you might be afraid to do it, you know that it gives you excitement inside of your mind. You go, oh my God, that kind of feels good. Maybe I do want to start that job. Maybe I do want to start this new project. And then focus on that. We're not going to worry about how it ends up. We're not getting involved and in love with the end goal. Start there. Okay? And that's how you're going to learn to trust yourself.